Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Have the class left first hour? Have you finished first hour?
Yes, ma'am.
And why only 34
Yes,
are?
ma'am.
Yeah,
Finish first.
okay. Only 34 are here. That's why I'm asking. Okay, let's wait just a couple of seconds more so that they'll come back here. I hope you have received your assignment marks.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you see my slide there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And all the details visible there?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys read that slide, first slide? Yeah? I'll tell you
Yes.
why I'm asking that question. Observe there the designation of the faculty in charge for basic electronics. Yeah? And I found in most of the assignments, the designation mentioned about the faculty is wrong. Huh? You should take care of small details whenever you submit any report, assignment. Huh? That shows your involvement. Yeah. Otherwise, it should be like considered as one person had made a mistake and it was circulated, so all copied the same mistake. And even I observed that the assignments were all have not done genuinely. It is copied, but though I'm not able to track like who is the where is the original document coming from, but I can make understand that most of you have copied from someone. Okay, so that is not advisable, and here onwards you please take care. In further assignments it will be handwritten. Okay, you will write your own assignment. You don't just take copy and paste somebody's in your PPT, make your own PPT with different background and all, saying that it is yours. You should not do that. It is not ethical. Fine, 48 are here. All right, we'll start the class. Okay, by the end of this session, you will be able to derive the expression for RMS load current and RMS load voltage of half-wave rectifier. I hope you remember the things where we stopped in the previous class. We were deriving expressions for, that is mathematical expressions for a half-wave rectifier, right? And today you will also, you'll be able to derive the expression for percentage regulation, rectification efficiency, and ripple factor and PIV for half-wave rectifier. All right, so we will move on with our class. I will Is my slide visible here now? Derivation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Thank you for acknowledging, Satvik. Okay. So do you remember we stopped here at average DC load current? And I assume that you are with your notes or some material where you are copying down the derivations. All these derivations are important, repeatedly asked in exam. Okay. So you should derive now during the class, or say copy down during the class. It is all just integration, substituting integration there, and deriving the final expression. So if you recall things, in the previous class we derived the expression for DC load current IDC, we got it as Im by pi. So are you with me there? Can anyone acknowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So continuing from there. So average DC load current, all right? Our average DC load current, the expression for average DC load current, please go on copying along with me, jot down the things, okay? Now we are deriving expression for VDC, that is average DC load voltage, VDC. So just with the simple Ohm's law there, V is equal to IR. So the DC load voltage, VDC, it is given by IDC into RL. We are talking about load voltage, output voltage, right? So VDC is equal to IDC into RL. Please note down. And I'm assuming that all of you are copying, all of you are writing down the derivation. So substituting IDC there, IDC which we had derived in the previous class, IDC is equal to Im by pi, substitute Im by pi into RL. Okay. Next, Im we had assumed where we started our derivation, Im, the peak value of current, we had taken it as Im is equal to Vm by Rf plus RL. Correct? So that was a peak current value which was substituted while starting the derivation there. Im is nothing but Vm by Rf plus RL. So Vm is the peak value of the voltage of the input, and Rf and RL were the resistances that were in the circuit, in the equivalent circuit. In fact, Rf was the internal resistance of the diode and RL was the load resistance. Okay, so Im, the peak value, current peak value, it is given by Vm by Rf plus RL. Substitute that here in this stage. In this stage, substitute Im. So it will be 1 by pi into Vm by Rf plus RL into RL. So finally, the load, DC load voltage, you will have the expression as VDC. For half-wave rectifier, it is given by Vm by pi by 1 plus Rf by RL. Just rearranging things there. I hope you are able to reach to that stage. Yeah, dividing by RL and taking it outside to cancel it with this RL, which is in the numerator. In the denominator, you will have 1 plus Rf by RL. I hope you are with me. Okay. So now moving on to derive the expression for RMS load current. Okay. So I believe that you know what is RMS. RMS is nothing but it is defined as like say for continuously varying function. It can be taken as the integral of squares of the instantaneous values during a particular cycle. Okay. So what do we do generally here when we say RMS? It's nothing but we are taking the square of the parameter, that is the signal, okay, and we take the mean of that square, right, and we take the square root of the whole term, that is taking square root of mean of the squares, right? So that will be your RMS value. Now we are talking about RMS load current. So bring to your understanding that RMS value is nothing but which is equivalent to DC value, right? So what do you understand there? RMS value is equivalent to DC value means if a lamp is connected to 5 volts RMS AC supply, then it will shine with the same brightness if we connect the same lamp to 5 volt DC supply. I'll repeat. If a lamp is connected to 5 volts RMS AC supply, it will shine with the same brightness if it is connected with the 5 volts DC.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sorry. Yeah.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt, but Krishna wants to join the class, it seems.
Is he not allowed there? Let him.
No, ma'am, he has sent the request, but he is not finding the direct invitation from the Google class itself. So he has sent the request.
Okay, let him. Please ask him to send again. I can admit.
Okay, ma'am, sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Avin. Oh, sorry, guys. We'll just wait because I'll be opening this other tabs. I'll not be able to track the notifications in Google Meet. That's a problem. Okay. Oh. If I get a ping, I will be able to. Fine. Okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay. Are you able to see that? See the slide there? The derivations one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what was I? Where was I? Yeah, I was telling you about RMS value and its importance, right? So RMS value is nothing but equivalent to DC value. Okay, and you remember that always RMS value will be less than or equal to the peak value. Okay, so let's see the derivation there. So as I said, you will be taking the square root of square of the mean, right? So it is nothing but, please note down, IRMS will be equal to square root of area under one cycle of the current, okay, that is square of the current, divided by period of I naught, which you will take it for one cycle, that is 2 pi. So inside the square root, you will have, so you have to take the integral of this parameter I, that is square of the current. Square of current, you have to take the mean and you have to take under square root. So that will be your RMS value, right? So integration between 0 to 2 pi, that is for one cycle, current square, I naught square d omega t, divided by 2 pi, because you have to take the mean of it, okay, and whole thing under the square root. So this will be your expression. How will you continue to derive the IRMS? Okay. Now we know that I naught square, we have between the two intervals that is 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi, right? The output is with the 2 half cycles, yeah, from 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi. So using the property of the definite integral there, we will split the current, right? So under square root, substitute there 1 by 2 pi, taking 1 by 2 pi outside. So applying the property of the definite integral there, 0 to pi Im square sine square d omega t, which is your output current between the time instant 0 to pi, right? Plus pi to 2 pi, it is 0. If you recall the things and the output waveforms, what we had discussed in the previous class, substituting that. All right. So we cannot integrate sine square directly. So we will be substituting the equation there. Since Im is the constant, we'll take Im outside. Okay, Im square under the square root, it will be Im outside. So Im under square root, you have 1 by 2 pi. 0 to pi, 1 by 2, that is substituting the equation of sine square. What is the equation there? Sine square equation is 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2, right? So substituting that equation here. Okay, I hope it is visible. Yeah. Substituting for sine square d omega t. Substituting, you will have 1 by 2, 1 minus cos 2 omega t d omega t. Second term vanishes because of the 0 there. All right. Now go on integrating there under Im outside. So taking 2 outside here, it will be 1 by 4 pi. That is the whole thing under square root. 1 by 4 pi. 0 to pi d omega t. Okay, the first term. Minus 0 to pi cos 2 omega t d omega t. Again, the property of the integral, definite integral there. In the next stage, you have Im by 2, square root 1 by pi. So integration of 1 will be omega t, apply the limits 0 to pi, minus sine 2 omega t by 2, the integration of cos there. So applying the limits again 0 to pi. Substitute there, substitute, applying the limits there. Do it yourself. So you will end up with IRMS is equal to Im by 2. I hope all are with me.
Ma'am, screen is blank now.
It went off. Huh? Okay. Is it visible?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am,
Yeah.
visible.
Okay. That's what happens when I shift from the tab to the Google Meet, it vanishes. That's it. I wanted to see how many of you are here. I hope all are here. Let me put a poll question. Oh, there is no option. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you have copied, there are 3 more derivations. Please copy quickly. Now, for RMS load voltage, similarly, the way we discussed for load DC load voltage, for RMS load voltage, applying Ohm's law there, VRMS is equal to IRMS into RL. Now again substitute IRMS. IRMS is equal to Im by 2, the one what you have derived just now, Im by 2 into RL. Again substitute Im is equal to Vm by RF plus RL. Okay. Substituting, you have VRMS is equal to Vm by 2 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. Now recall the things, all these derivations we started for practical diode, right? For practical diode with internal resistance RF. So if the diode is idle, if a diode what we are considering is ideal, then RF will be equal to 0. Please note down all these points. RF will be equal to 0. RF is what? The internal resistance of diode, right? So for ideal diode condition, RF will be 0. Now from that, you have Im is equal to Vm by RL. Okay? Taking RF to be 0. So Im will be Vm by RL. So accordingly, your equations, VDC will be equal to Vm by pi. Okay? That will not change. It was Vm by pi itself. And VRMS will be Vm by 2 only. Because denominator RF will be equal to 0. for ideal case, for ideal conditions. So the derivations what we did just now, it is for practical diode, considering internal resistance RF. Please recall things and understand that all these derivations are for practical diode with considering the internal resistance of the diode. All right. If the diode assumed is to be ideal one, then RF we have to substitute 0 in all the derivations. All right. Okay. Now, okay. Take this question. There is a problem here. For the circuit shown, sketch VI, VL, VD, ID, and IL. I'll name them. VI is your input voltage, VL is your output voltage, VD is the voltage across diode, ID is the current via the diode, and IL is your load current. All right. So you have to plot or sketch the output waveforms, in fact, for VI, VL, VD, ID, and IL for the circuit shown. I hope the circuit is visible and all the parameters are visible there. I will just read them. So this is your VI, okay? And here is your VD, voltage across the diode. ID is here, the current via the diode. This is your VL, voltage, the output voltage, all right, across the load. And here is your VDC. VDC, that is DC output voltage. It is given as 2 volts. Now, before proceeding, can we discuss how to do and what is asked? Can we discuss here? Yeah. Oh, sorry. This step. Yeah. Please copy the circuit there. What is asked? What is asked and how do you proceed? We have to plot the waveforms for VI, VL, VD, ID, and IL, right? That is, VI is input voltage. You have to plot the waveform for input voltage. You have to plot the voltage across the diode. All right. You have to plot the output voltage, right? Then currents via the diode and the output current. So to do that, how do you proceed? What do you need there? What do you need? Think about it. What do you need there to plot the waveforms?
We need a peak.
Peak value, isn't it? Very good. Yeah. So yes, exactly correct, Ashwija. We need peak values. So how do we arrive there? How do we get peak values here?
Ma'am, the VDC is already given, right? So we can calculate V peak by using the formula VDC is equal to VM by pi.
Very good. Yes. So there we will get VM, isn't it? Peak value of the input voltage. Correct? Very
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Yes. So from that, what else can we calculate? But when we know VM.
We can calculate IM and VRMS.
Correct. Exactly correct. IRMS is not required. It is not asked here, right? So we want IM. We want IM. All right. So with VI, first we need to plot VI. To plot VI, we need VM. So as Ashwija mentioned, we can go for calculating VM, that is peak value of the input voltage, using the equation VDC is equal to VM by pi, right? VDC is already given. VDC is given here, 2 volts. So VM will be equal to, please write down, VM will be equal to VDC into pi, 6.28. Correct, Jane? Yeah, 6.28 volts. So that will be your VM. Now peak load current. To calculate peak load current, we want IM, isn't it? So IM will be equal to, apply the equation there, VM by RF plus RL. So considering the ideal diode here, so you have to mention there, considering ideal diode, RF will be equal to 0. All right. Assuming ideal diode condition, it is already mentioned there in the question, assume diode to be ideal. So IM will be equal to VM by RF plus RL. Those who are not following, please follow my instructions at least. Okay, IM is equal to VM by RF plus RL. So for ideal diode condition, taking RF is equal to 0, you have VM, just now you calculated 6.28. RL is given there. It is 2.5 kilo ohms. So substitute the values there. You will get 2.51 milliamps. Jason, correct? Correct, Jason. Correct, Satvik. Yeah, 2.51 milliamps. Exactly. So you have, yes, correct. Very good. Okay, yeah, I'm getting the answers here. Sean, Edita, Vaishnavi, Vanessa, Devi Kiran, Rimisha De Silva, Satvik. Yes, I'm getting the answer. Very good. All are attentive. Mohammad Rabil, Anuja, Varsha, Vigna. Yeah. Thank you for being attentive. Okay, now. Okay, fine. Now plot the waveforms. What is asked? You have to sketch the waveforms. Fine, you have the values now. You have IM, you have VM. Plot the waveforms. Can you try that? Can you try sketching VI, VL, VD, ID, IL? VI is your input voltage. VL is the output. And you know the rectifier output, how it will be, right? And peak value you've already calculated now. VD and ID, this we have to discuss. Is there anything to discuss VD here? Can anyone suggest something here? How will be the waveform across diode, VD? Can anyone tell me how will be the waveform across VD? What will be the value of VD between 0 to pi? What will be the value of VD between
What will be constant?
Constant. Please think over that. The diode is conducting. This is a rectifier circuit. Diode is conducting, right? For VL, you will have output. When diode is conducting, it will be short circuit, right? So at the output, you will have only the waveform during the positive cycle. In the negative cycle, it will be 0. It will be flat, isn't it? During positive cycle, it will follow the input. That is VL. What about VD? The voltage across the diode. How will be the waveform if you have to plot the waveform for voltage across diode? It is conducting, it is short circuit. So what will be the status of voltage across the diode? Think over. Diode is conducting, it is short circuit now. All right, ideally, the diode is ideal now. If it is short circuit, what will be the condition here? When diode is conducting, full current is flowing through, right? When current is maximum, look at the ideal
It
situation.
will be a straight line having slope 45 degree.
Not 45 degree. The voltage across the diode will be 0. Current is maximum. When diode is conducting, current is maximum. It is similar to switch, isn't it? A switch. When switch is closed, what happens? Current is maximum. The voltage will be minimum or zero because the condition is ideal. The voltage across the diode will be zero. Of course, in the practical situation, there will be some drop, right? But in ideal condition, when the diode is conducting, right? You have to imagine it to be a switch there. Switch is closed now when diode is conducting. So the drop will be, voltage across it will be zero. And current will be maximum. Observe that. Current is maximum. Okay? So when you plot the waveform across the diode, during the positive cycle, that is between 0 to pi, the voltage across diode will be zero for ideal condition. Again, I'm repeating here. All right? But in the negative cycle, it is open, right? It is reverse bias. It is not conducting here. So it will be open circuit. That means voltage across this point will be now the input voltage, the negative cycle. Are you getting my point? Are you all getting my point? Should I repeat?
Can you repeat?
Yes. Okay. This is about, we are highlighting the point about the voltage across diode here because you are now already familiar. Input voltage, you know, it is a sinusoidal input, right? Output, you know, the rectifier output. Only in the positive cycles, you will have the pulsating DC output. In the negative cycle, it will be zero. That is the rectifier output. About VL, I'm talking about VL. And IL, you know how to calculate. It will be similar to VL. The waveform will be similar to VL. That is, you will have output in the positive cycle and zero output in the negative cycle. But again, it depends on R value, right? So I will be equal to V by R. So that's about VI, VL, and IL. I'm now talking about VD, the voltage across the diode. Voltage across the diode, you assume that, you consider that diode to be acting as a switch. So when diode is conducting, switch will be closed. So diode is conducting means we know it acts as a short circuit there. It simply acts as a short circuit. Okay. So when diode is conducting, it is simply a short circuit. That means maximum current will flow through in that path and voltage across it will be always minimum or zero. Ideally, it will be zero. Okay. Practical condition, when the diode is conducting, there will be some drop. That's why we used to take 0.7 in all our problems previously, right? When diode was conducting, we used to take voltage to be 0.7 for practical condition. Ideally, when diode is conducting, the drop across it will be zero because current will be maximum. Okay? You have to consider there the function of the switch there. If switch is open, diode is not conducting, switch is open. That means what? There is an open circuit there, right? So open circuit means whatever you apply here will be appearing here at this point, right? So in the negative cycle, the voltage here will be in the negative cycle there, reverse voltage. So that will appear at this point of the diode because it is open now, correct? Now maybe if I show you the waveforms, you will be able to relate things. All right, see, look at this. This is the input of, VI, the response VI, waveform for VI. So it is your sinusoidal signal with peak value 6.28 volts, which you calculated using VDC. VDC into pi will give you 6.28 volts. That is your VM. VM is indicated. And waveform, you have to show it as a sinusoidal because you are talking about AC signal to be converted to DC, that is the rectifier circuit. So positive half cycle between 0 to pi and next cycle pi to 2 pi is your negative cycle. So the cycle is continued for next 2 cycles there. Next, plotting the waveform for VL, output voltage. So output voltage of the rectifier, observe here, you have only during the positive cycles, there is output, that is waveform, which we call it as pulsating DC, right? And in the negative cycle, it is 0. This is our rectifier output, right? So peak value you calculated Vm to be 6.28 volts, right? And Vd, as I explained just now, the voltage across the diode. Okay, when diode is conducting, you are getting output here. This is your output voltage. When diode is conducting, the voltage across the diode will be 0. This is for ideal condition. And in the negative cycle, when diode is not conducting, you don't get any output. This is VL. I'm talking about VL. There is no output. But when the output across the diode, when it is not conducting, it will be same as the input, what you apply here. Negative cycle. Same negative reverse voltage appears across the diode. And again, in the positive cycle, diode is conducting. So output across it will be 0, ideally. Got it? I hope you are able to understand now. Okay. So the peak value for reverse, it will be obviously minus 6.28 volts. Now coming to the last one, ID and IL, both will be same, right? The current via diode and the output current will be same there. So it is given by, again applying Ohm's law, I is equal to V by R. So output voltage by R value is 2.5 kilo ohms. Substituting, you will get 2.5 milliamps. Are you with me? Are you able to understand so far? Quickly, we'll continue with the derivations. Have you copied? See, these are the basic things. If you are familiar with these basics, then you will be able to understand the further topics. I hope all are with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, yeah. Okay. Should we continue with the derivations?
Ma'am, once, ma'am.
Okay.
Current waveform.
Copying. Okay. Should I explain or you are copying?
I'm copying.
Okay. Output current and its peak value Im, we calculated using the equation Vm by Rf plus RL. For ideal diode, Rf will be taken as 0. So we have the relation Vm by RL. Vm is 6.28. RL is 2.5 into 10 raised to 3. So we will get 2.51 milliamps. That is the peak value of the current. And as I mentioned in the previous class, observe the amplitude of the current will be always less than the amplitude of the output voltage, because it is V by R. So amplitude will be less of current compared to voltage. So you have to take care when you draw the waveforms too. Okay, we'll continue. Please, there are too many derivations to note down. Okay, so next is to derive the percentage regulation. Here I will not spend much time here because you already know the expression there. Percentage regulation, it is given by V no load minus V load by V load. That is V full load by V full load, right? So,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yeah.
Will you be sharing these notes on Google Classroom?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
But derivation, please note down. Only when you write down, you will understand during the class. But still, I'll be sharing this. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you note down and do it yourself, you will understand things. Better to do during the class. Okay? Wherever you miss any step, you can verify later. All right. So, yes. So percentage regulation, we know it is a variation of the DC output voltage with respect to as a function of DC load current, right? So we had taken this expression earlier. Percentage regulation, it will be given by V no load minus V load by V load. And since it is percentage, it is into 100. All right. So generally observe here, when no load is the DC output voltage, that is V no load is a DC output voltage when load current is 0. Okay, observe that ideally the output DC output voltage is independent of the load current. Okay, so ideally V no load will be equal to V load. So in ideal condition, percentage regulation will be 0. This is just a point to observe there. All right. So substitute here, substitute the expression there for this derivation, percentage regulation, V no load minus V load by V load. Okay. Let's substitute the things. We know VDC is equal to Vm by pi by 1 plus Rf by RL, right? Substitute the things. For VDC, that is V load, substituting Vm by pi by 1 plus Rf by RL, rearranging things there, take a LCM, all right, rearranging things. So when during no load condition, we know that the current will be 0, isn't it? No load means no current. So RL will be infinite. Okay. So when RL is infinite in the above expression here, in the above expression, you have V no load will be equal to Vm by pi. Correct? So substitute V load and V no load in the percentage regulation equation. The point is here, when no load, current will be 0. Okay? Taking RL to be infinite, V no load will end up with Vm by pi. Okay? Now substituting, this is your V no load minus V load divided by V load into 100 is your percentage regulation. Rearranging things and substituting, please note down there, just doing some simplification, taking LCM. Here, cancelling Vm there, you will end up with 1 minus RL by Rf plus RL divided by RL by Rf plus RL into 100. Again, rearranging, you get Rf plus RL minus RL by RL. Are you all following the steps? So percentage regulation will be equal to Rf by RL into 100. For, again, practical diode, right? Rf by RL into 100, percentage regulation. And this is for half wave rectifier. And ideally, again, Rf will be equal to 0. Okay, their percentage regulation will be equal to 0. So that's the point there. For ideal diode, half wave rectifier behaves as an ideal DC power supply. Okay, that's about percentage regulation. Quickly moving on to rectification efficiency. Rectification efficiency, here you are talking about what is the efficiency of your rectifier circuit, right? So it is defined as the ratio of DC output power to AC input power. Rectification efficiency, it is defined as the ratio of DC output power to AC input power supplied to the rectifier. So mathematically, the expression is given by eta is equal to PDC by PI. All these are the just mathematical expressions. Please write down. PDC is equal to is nothing but your DC output power of the rectifier. DC output power of your rectifier, and PI is the AC input power to the rectifier. PI is AC input power to the rectifier. Let's see how derive this expression, how it goes. Okay, we know PDC, the output DC power, DC output power, PDC. Substituting the expression there, I square R. So I will be your IDC, right? Output DC current, DC output current. IDC square into RL will be your output DC power. All right. For half wave rectifier, we know IDC is equal to Im by pi, which we had discussed in the previous class. Substitute there. Therefore, PDC will be equal to Im square RL by pi square. I hope you are with me, noting down the things. Whereas for denominator term, that is AC input power, PI is equal to IRMS square into RF plus RL. Again, I square R, substituting I square R there, P is equal to I square R. So for input, you will take IRMS square into RF plus RL. Because the whole circuit, you have to consider the internal resistance of diode as well here. So you end up with, substitute IRMS is equal to Im by pi. So you end up with I is equal to Im square by 4 into RF plus RL. So substituting the whole thing here, substituting PDC in the numerator, substituting PI in the denominator for rectifier efficiency, substitute. In the numerator, you have Im square RL by pi. In the denominator, you have Im square by 4 into RF plus RL. So,
Ma'am, there will be pi square, no ma'am, in the numerator.
Numerator.
Yes, ma'am. In ITAR.
It should be pi square, right? Im square
IL
RL
square
by
RL
pi
divided by
square.
pi square, no, ma'am.
Correct. There should be some mistake there. Yeah. Yes. This is PDC is equal to Im square RL by pi square. Correct. Substitute. Tell me, are you getting this expression there? 0.406 into RL by RF plus RL. Just verify. Do the simplification there. Just check.
And then number is correct, ma'am. 0.40528.
Yeah. 0.4. Yes. So in the numerator, you'll have 40.6 by 1 plus RF by RL. Are you getting this? Finally, percentage rectification efficiency. So for half wave rectifier, rectification efficiency is 40%. So this is typically for half wave rectifier, you have to remember this value. Percentage rectification. Again, substituting RF is equal to 0 for ideal diode condition. Are you with me? Have you got arrived there to the final expression? Percentage rectification for half wave rectifier, it is 40.6. Just substituting all the terms and doing the simplification. Fine. All right, we'll move ahead to the next topic, the ripple factor. Okay, deriving the expression for ripple factor. What do you understand with the term ripple factor there? Can anyone tell me in simple words? Of course, the definition and the expression is given. What do you understand in simple language? What is ripple factor? What are you trying to find there? One second. Yeah? Can anyone tell me? What do you understand with this definition? It is the ratio of RMS value of AC component present in the rectified output to the DC component. So ripple factor means what are we trying to get there? From the rectified output, yeah, how much of AC component, that is how much of ripples are present in the DC output is what we are trying to find out, right? So ripple factor, it is, sorry, 1 second, I have to take this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, continuing. Okay, so it is given by the ratio of RMS AC component present in the rectified output to the DC component of the rectifier. So it is given by VAC by VDC. The ratio of ripple factor, it is given by VAC by VDC. Please note down where VAC is the RMS value of AC component present in the rectified output, and VDC is the DC component of the rectifier. So the output of the rectifier, observe here, it has two components, right? The AC component of the RMS value, that is VAC, and the DC component. So the total RMS can we take it as the summation of the DC and the AC components, the total RMS value of the rectified output. It is summation of the DC components present in it and the AC components. All right. So which we can write it as VRMS square is equal to VDC square plus VAC square. VRMS square is equal to VDC square plus VAC square. All right. Divide the whole term by VDC square there. VRMS by VDC whole square will be equal to 1 plus VAC plus VDC whole square. Dividing this expression which I have highlighted by VDC square. All right. You have on the left hand side VRMS by VDC whole square plus 1 is equal to 1 plus VAC by VDC whole square. So this term is nothing but ripple factor, right? So substituting there, VRMS by VDC whole square is equal to 1 plus rho square. You can call it as rho square because there is a square term there. So just simplifying things, rho will be equal to, the ripple factor will be equal to square root of VRMS by VDC whole square minus 1. Just rearranging things, taking rho to the left hand side and substituting the terms VRMS and VDC. VRMS is equal to VM by 2 1 plus R by RL, right? And VDC is equal to VM by pi 1 plus R plus RF by RL. Substitute those terms there inside this bracket here. Substitute VRMS and VDC inside. You will get the ratio VRMS by VDC is equal to pi by 2. Are you with me? Just simplification, rearranging and cancelling things there. Common things. Okay. Are you here in this stage? VRMS by VDC is equal to pi by 2. Have you reached? Okay, yeah, correct. Okay, so rho is equal to now under the square root pi by 2 whole square minus 1. So finally you will have ripple factor rho for half wave rectifier. It is given by 1.21, which means for half wave rectifier there is 121% of DC component in the AC component in the output, DC output. That's the meaning. VAC from this expression, if you see there, VAC is equal to 1.21 VDC, right? So which indicates that in the rectified output, you have 121% of the AC component present in your DC output. So that's why the half wave rectifier is not practically recommended, because it has like the percentage of AC component present in the DC output is more there. So it is not preferably used in the typical applications but for simple conversions, half wave rectifiers are used. Okay. Finally, the last term, let me just finish this. We have already discussed peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage we had defined in the previous class. It is the maximum reverse voltage that the diode can withstand in the reverse bias condition, right? So when the diode is reverse biased, right, what is the maximum reverse voltage that the diode can withstand is your peak inverse voltage. So applying KVL there in this loop, observe there, applying KVL, minus V2 plus VR minus I naught into RL will be equal to 0. That is your KVL. So from that you have V2 is equal to VM sin omega t, substituting that. So PI will be equal to PIV, that is peak inverse voltage will be equal to your VM, taking sin omega t to be 1. Okay, so peak inverse voltage will be equal to the peak value of the input voltage. Peak inverse voltage of the diode, it is nothing but the maximum reverse voltage that the diode can be subjected to in the reverse bias condition. All right, so PIV will be equal to VM. Considering this circuit, equivalent circuit, applying KVL to that, you will get PIV will be equal to VM. Okay, this material, that is all these derivations, I think I've already shared in the Google Classroom. Please refer to that. We have all these derivations in that. All right. Yeah, further we will discuss more example problems in the coming classes. Okay. Yeah, all the derivations are simple here.